प्रेम से बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की jai. Sitaram, namaste everybody, and welcome to our first session, our first night together as we do Devi, Gyan, Yagna, as we commemorate this occasion of the Mother's Day that's coming up on Sunday. For many individuals, they celebrate their mom this weekend, and for some, they celebrate the memory of their mother. For us all, this weekend has that value, but as a Hindu, there are discourses, one such one we're going to talk about tonight, that shows how the Hindu celebrates mother. Many times we adopt the practices of others. We get into the trends, online trends, traditions that have been trending for some time, and we don't know why we do what we do. What's the significance of gifts? What's the purpose of the holiday? But we do. And tonight, my purpose, besides the discourse on the Hindu discourse, the Hindu aspect of Devi that we'll touch on tonight, I just want to shed a little light on this thing that we're celebrating called Mother's Day, for us to appreciate what we are doing, how we are doing, and why we're doing. Tonight, as you are viewing, I encourage you all to send me your comments as we get ready to start, where you're viewing from. I want to hear from you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Please share the satsang, leave your comments, like and share. Like and share. If you're watching on the repeat on YouTube, on the channel, God bless you. I hope you enjoy tonight's discourse as we get set to enter into, firstly, everybody, Brahma Vaivarta Purana tonight. The Krishna Janam Khan, we start in chapter 110. A wonderful discourse that does deal with mother, but a different twist. Before we enter into it, join your hands and let's do invocation mantras as time is already slipping away. Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapet Jambo Palacharavakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam Sarvamangalamangaliye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One more time, everybody. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudev Aya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Again, Siddharam, cordial welcome to everybody. Welcome to our satsang tonight. If you came in late, you haven't missed much. We're getting into Brahma Vaivarta Purana tonight as we discuss the Devi, the mother. As this weekend, throughout the world, well, some parts of the world, as you will hear, some parts of the world, we're celebrating Mother's Day. Now, some people were messaging on the group about Mother's Day and why is it on a Sunday and what we're supposed to do as Hindus for Mother's Day. Mother's Day, as we celebrate it on the, I think they say the second Sunday in May. Do you know the history of this day? Let's just talk about that before we get into our discourse. A young lady by the name of Anna Jarvis in the United States from 1908 started to, because she remembered her mother who had died, Anne Jarvis. She wanted to work towards getting a day set aside for the celebration of mothers that followed other countries, other histories, olden cultures. And in 1914, she got, after petitioning the government, the President of America instituted this day as a holiday. On this day, white carnation flowers would be given to the mother of a home, and then they would go to church. The worship of mother in other cultures goes back to the Greek practice of celebrating the goddess Rhea or Re, where they would give the mother dear, sweet-smelling flowers as a gift of, that fragrance of love for all that she did. Fast forward, in the United Kingdom, before the 1800s, Mothering Sunday was a practice. Mothering Sunday, which was the fourth Sunday in the Lent period, where Mothering Sunday was nothing to do with your biological mother. It had to do with a journey going to meet your church, your Christian church, your mother church, your village church, or where you were christened, baptized, all these things. So people would take time out of their busy schedule and on this day venture to church and spend time in prayer. Eventually, this became a more secular, not religious, but secular type of day where they would venture to meet their mother. Mothering Sunday then became what we call, with the American practice, Mother's Day. So it became a day to look for your mom, but go to church and pray. And that was the link between the church and this day for the lady. Some people were asking, is it because of convenience? And this is why I just wanted to touch on that. History. Is it celebrated throughout the world? It's spread. Based on my research, I saw where in Thailand they celebrated in August. In Ethiopia, they celebrated in different days. In Nigeria, they combine it with a river festival that they have. Different parts of the world, it has different symbolism and it's tied together for different things. But why now? It has to do with the Mothering Sunday that was existing in United Kingdom, and then this was the day just designated. There was no significance other than this was the day given by the US government many years ago. The problem with it was the lady who petitioned, as funny as it seems, and this is something for me and you to be aware of, the lady who creates the day, Mother's Day in the States, in our recent history, she has a problem with the evolution in her own life in the 30s and the 40s of Mother's Day, because she would support giving a flower because of what it represented to the mom. But she did not like where it started to evolve in buying gifts, sweets or sweetie, chocolates, etc., confectionery. gifts of clothing, and it became commercialized. She fought in court to block people from advertising anything that took away from prayer and the celebration with prayer and the mother, because the mother was something that we had to be grateful for in the eyes of God. It took a turn. In today's world, Mother's Day is highly commercialized. A good child, what do you do? And I'm asking you this as a question. What is Mother's Day for you? Mother's Day has become a gift day. Buy a card, buy a gift, buy flowers, buy. Do we pray? Do we thank God? Do we even visit? For many people, Mother's Day is this day. This day has a lot of symbolism. But as a Hindu now, way before the Greeks in terms of records, way before definitely England and America, Hindus have always personified God as a mother. Twame Mamata, you have been saying this prayer every day. You are my mother. My first God is my mother. My first guru is my mother. So we have been celebrating Mother's Day every day for the longest time, before our time. So it is very common for Hindus to connect with the day called Mother's Day. We see the sense in it. After all, in our religion, if you say the word religion, to differentiate from other religion, God is a female. God is a person that nurses children, heals children, protects children as a mother would. There are so many discourses that speak to her in her femininity, in her ability to appreciate the trials and tribulations of a lady. In any discourse with the goddess, she talks about the journey of womanhood, from a young girl to a senior lady. There are many discourses like that. When you listen to the discourse of Bhaglamukhi, where mother takes on a fatter, older, gray hair. Some texts say she's scary looking, ugly looking, the skin not as pretty as the multi as we're accustomed to. And she visits the devotee in the mind, in a dream, to give warning. But still a lady, still a mother. It is Hindu text that warns Shiva. There's a discourse where Lord Shiva is shown Kali Mata by Parvati Mata. And she says, do you like this form? And he says, no, I prefer Uma, I prefer Parvati, because she was fair and pretty. And Kali Mata gets angry with him. She says, then you don't love me. If when the lady is changing, you don't like her in all her forms, shapes, marks, to be honest, everybody big here, stretch marks, putting on the weight, losing weight, going through different sickness, losing the womb, losing a breast to breast cancer, different times, losing the hair, scary time. And you don't love her then you don't love a woman. You take a snapshot of a Hindu text, take a snapshot of a girl at 19, will she look like that when she's 39? Will she look like that when she's 59? So if you only like the 19, mother is saying, then you don't love the essence of a woman. And Lord Shiva had to learn that lesson. He had to beg that Devi to come back to him, because she did not take to that very lightly. In our text, this Mother's Day has to do with the celebration of a soul. What is a mother? A person that has developed karma, that has developed prarabdha karma to become a vessel of life. Think about that. To become part and parcel of the creative process, to become, in some sense, part of God's creative process. There is a discourse where Radha, tonight we're going to hear about Radha Devi. Radha is created from the body of Krishna. And she's created for the purpose of propagating creation. Hinduism admits the need for the female, whereas in other religions there's only male apparently. The female has no bearing, has no status, she has no pedestal. And when we as Hindus, and tonight we're going to touch on it, when we put the female on a pedestal, when you arati that murti, when you touch mother's feet, everything that we do, you have to remember to live that way. And tonight, my point is, Mother's Day has to be every day. Every day. Not only on the convenient days, not only on the easy days, but every day. And we have to strive for that. When we listen to Ayurveda talk about the prana, when we have the build up, the walls of the womb, the energy that is building, and then the shedding of that energy. She becomes like a machine, part and parcel of the creative process. And I did not say human, but the development of the womb in whichever form is something that is used to propagate life. From a practical explanation, could we have biological reproduction without male, female? So then she becomes very important. And in Hinduism, we give her her due respect because of it. We give her that due regard. And my point tonight, as you'll hear, we have to think about how we live with this mother, how we live with this way, in this way. And sometimes we have to think a little more in our decision making, in our behavior, and tonight we will talk about that. It's more than just flowers. It's more than just mama guy and mommy love you and God love you and all these things. It's living right. Living right, doing the correct thing. Earlier this week I put out a video in lieu of these discourses, and I spoke about praying and looking for God in the flowers. For those of you that saw it, this is the one where I'm in the cherry blossom tree. And I did see, do you see God in the smile of the baby or your children? Do you see God in the smile of your baby or your children? Tonight, somebody is going to get questioned in a similar way with that very thought. Tonight, let's enter, as we go into Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Krishna had just gotten married to Rukmani, and Vasudeva and Yashoda are in Dwarka to see all the festivities, to see all the grandeur of this emperor bringing home this choice person, this Devi, this young girl. Oh boy, a great moment. Great amount of discourse are correlated to this moment. But before we go there, in the Krishna Janam Kand of the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Lord Vishnu is speaking about something that comes in the mind of Yashoda. All the guests are getting ready to go, to return to their home. The wedding is done. But Yashoda is perturbed. She's bothered. Something is eating at her about her son. Her son. And Yashoda goes to talk to that son. That Krishna, no matter his heights of achievement, the beauty of Dwarka, he's now a married man. No, he makes time to sit with them. And he has Yashoda on one side, he has Vasudeva on one side, still dressed as a Dulaha. He's asking about their opinion of how everything went. Is everything okay? Did everybody get food? You name it. Yashoda now starts to tell him. It is not the only place this happens, and over the night we'll discuss it. But here, what she says to her son. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Gyanam cha bhavata datam Nanda Madhavam Mam chapi mataram vyasta Kripam kuru kripani deha Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. O Madhava, O Madhav, you bestowed many times knowledge to your father Nanda that would secure his passage from this world to the heights in the next world. A child, I'm sure she's watching, a child watched the new Doctor Strange movie that some children are watching. And they saw some Hindu figurines and heard the word Ashanti and Shanti in the movie. And then they heard the worlds and the upper worlds and loks. We say the same things. That show has a lot of Hindu philosophy. Watch it and get back to me on it. He is secured that his passage from this world, let me use that word, dimension. This world, this dimension, to the upper world, the upper dimension. His passage is secure. O ocean of mercy, you who show mercy to everybody. In many incidents, you have saved many individuals. Be graceful to your mother. I am a very virtuous person. Redeem me, just as you have saved Mother Earth and you have lessened her burden. You should redeem a person like me who is terrified about becoming a slave to sin. Maya Mahisa Prakritir Bhavadi Taraya Taraha Tvameva Karna Dharnayascha Bhaktoti Nardhana. The illusions of Maya serve to tie a person in this world. But, O sailor amongst men, you can control the boat and ferry us through this ocean of confusion, this ocean of webs. Do not leave me here. If you wish to make me happy, then give me the knowledge. My dear boy, lift me, help me. Today I depend on you. There comes a time when the mother would help the child. But there also comes a time, O Kanha, where the child has to help the mother. Don't forget me now. Yashoda vachanam shru jahasya purushotamaha uvacham matara bhakti bhaktya gyaninam guruha. In this way, Yashoda spoke to Purushottam, the teacher of teachers. And in that moment, the son became her guru. And when a person, regardless to their position, regardless to age, goes to him as such, he's definitely going to assist. He says, "O Ma, the knowledge that is connected with yoga, how the pathways," we've talked about this many times. When we speak about the different 9 forms of bhakti that Sri Ram speaks to Shabri Ma about, there are different types. Bhagavad has it in detail, Smaranam, Shravanam, etc. Different type of yoga also have Gyan Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, etc. That is given in Gita where Arjuna is listening. He says, and that knowledge is also connected with different objects. But the knowledge, the Gyan pertaining to devotion is considered the best. This is the auspicious cause that brings, the word he uses here is dasanam, which is a form of bhakti or devotion. You know, you hear about Tulsi Das, Krishna Das, Rama Das from Anand Ramayana, Vishnu Das, etc. And in the Hare Krishna society, you hear many people Das. Das means servant. So if I become Vishnu Das, for example, it means that I am a Dasi, I am a Das, a slave to Mahavishnu. I give my life to his work. I give my life to serving his murti or to do cooking in his name. I want to make prasad. I want to sing his name. I want to help. And I am adopting this lifestyle. Doing that type of auspicious, not only that way I'm saying, but he says when you have this knowledge and you become my servant, then you're going to have what you are looking for. The knowledge has been defined in the Veda as 5 types, but the knowledge concerning devotion is considered to be the highest. And it gives the benefit that you are looking for. Things like overcoming hunger, thirst, purifying internally, purifying your breathing, purifying your excretory organs, controlling the chakra, meditating, working the Kundalini Shakti, controlling the organs of senses, overcoming greed, lust, etc. A person is able to achieve different heights of devotion. Now you and I think devotion, let's be honest, is puja. Devotion translates light the diya and then do arti. This is devotion. Let's see if we can add to that definition. The knowledge that you want, Ma, oneself has to have the desire. Noble people know themselves, and in that moment when you have the karma to want to know more, the knowledge of this type of siddhi itself comes because of past actions, past karma. Only then is a person born into an opportunity, a home, a family. A moment will come where it will be revealed to them. The knowledge which bestows moksha, liberation, is quite successful. It is able to redeem everybody. So, when people want to show prejudice with race, gender, religion, etc., you and I, we must not fall for that. If God made everybody, simply put, then God made everybody. Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me be honest. Did God only make people that look like you? Did God only make people that pray like you? But then we see God is here, there, everywhere. God knows everything. Did God only make man? Tonight, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about that, because there are many people that try to suppress women. That try, and I'm sticking to the woman point. Of course, it have other aspects of this. Please understand what I'm saying. There are people that try to rob girls of an education. People that rape, plunder, pollute, disregard, ill-treat by simply preventing opportunities. Girls cannot rise up to become this, or they cannot achieve that, and they hold them back. They restrain that individual. Prejudice. This knowledge, when a person follows Nriti Marga, that devotee never desires to come back upon this earth, but wants to know more and more about the truth. What truth we're talking about? The truth about God, the truth about this life, the truth about the existence, the creation. And in doing it, we learn about God. Now, as I made the point earlier in the group, in different social media, in the Western world, when I was studying biology, it was a known fact that the biologists, what we call now biologists, in those days used to be the discoverer and so on. They would be a priest, or vice versa. And what the priest did when children go to school to study botany and zoology and so on, till today, we use these people's notes and drawings and so on. And the question was, why was the priest or a pastor a biologist? Why would the priest take the time to walk through and look at the development of the feather, the leaves, the flowers, the webbed feet of a duck or the feet of a chicken, and record it? Because who made this feather? Forget the human. Who made this feather? Who made all the different lines, the colors, the intricate nature of this? God did. Baba, simple. God did. Okay. So in my drawing, paying attention to the creation that God created, this is a different way in the English world of praying, because I'm admiring the work of God. Hinduism does the same. When a person can meditate and focus on the quiet sounds of rain, the weather, the sky, what are you doing? You are focusing on the works of God. When you find happiness in chaos, when you could laugh, not like a mad person, but to see the hand of God, God really tested me today. Then you are observing something behind what you're seeing. Some people only see what is in front of them. And some people have that intuition. This is my Gra. This is my God. This is something testing me today. He says, when people start to gain that knowledge, they start to shed away all the false doctrines, all the different misinformation they had, and they start to creep closer and closer to that divine knowledge, and they don't let go. That knowledge purifies a person. It purifies an individual from the inside coming out. From that inside, when that spark light inside of your chest, it starts to guide your actions, your speech, what you enjoy listening to, what you enjoy watching on the television or your phone, the interactions you have with the world, with the people, the conversation you have with God. It starts inside. So for this reason in Gita, he says, when the person, even the worst sinner, the worst individual, makes the affirmation that they want to do better, they want to be, a child of God, they want to come to God, give them the opportunity, call them a saint. Because when it starts to work from the inside, that divine light, that spark starts to guide their intuition, their talk, the thoughts, the chit, sat chit anand, that chit starts the voice, that what we say we talk to, we mind, the subconscious starts to guide. You know what? To go down the road, you go see the bar, and you'll get tempted. Go this way. And let that guide your actions, then you're going to go better, better, better. But it takes something, and what gives it? The knowledge, Ma, that you are asking about. This knowledge about devotion or bhakti, I am not going to give it to you. Go to Radha. Radhika Devi, she is the one. If you go to her, she is able to impart the knowledge that you are searching for, and it will give you what you want. The knowledge that I have imparted to Nand, she is going to give it to you now. O Ma, because I so adore you, today you have earned this right. And one day, if for you, those of you that were following the satsang I did late last year in December, it's on the YouTube channel, where what happens to Nanda and Yashoda at the end of their life. He's given the precursor here. He says, Ma, one day I will take care of you. I will never abandon you. I will never forsake you. Never doubt this. For all that you have done for me, I will never forget or leave you. That's the example that we follow. Let's hear what happens. The mother kisses him, bless him, still son, right? And she goes now eagerly back to Vrindavan, where Radha is in that village. Remember, they don't meet. They interact, but when he leaves to go to fight Kans, Radha and Krishna do not meet again until it is time for Radha to leave the earth, when just before Krishna gives up the physical form. They leave Dwarka and they are heading back to Vrindavan. They go. Let's hear what happens. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Nando Yashodhya ye Sardhya Prarav ye Kadali Vyanam Darshan Radham Tatravam Nidhantam Nyayuktam Bhushanam. Jai Bhole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Shri Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. When they reached into the vicinity of where they expect to see Radha, they go into the home, they look for her in the room, she's not there. It is as if the house is abandoned. And they see movement to the back. They go. And Radha is in the middle of a banana patch, but a huge patch. She's in, the word here is banana forest. So many trees. Mother and father, because what you have to understand, Radha is born around Krishna, but they don't get married. Radha is born a little before. She's a little older. And she sees Kanha with all the different Krishna Leela events, with all Potna, Kalya, with all the different enemies attacking him. But she could not marry him. Do you remember that discourse? We did it. When Sudama and Krishna, way before, they meet in Golok, and when they're coming, Radha has a high temper. And when she opens the door, thinking she's going to see Krishna now, she sees Sudama. And she says, move! Don't want to see you. And she starts a quarrel. When she sees Krishna, she starts a quarrel with him. I've been waiting. Where have you? You are only sporting with your friends. You have no time for me. Your friends are more important. Your devotees are more important. I am nothing to you. And Sudama couldn't bear those words. He couldn't bear the tone. He doesn't hear anybody speak to his God, his friend, his master, his everything. And he says, Devi, do you forget my friend, my God? This Krishna is the ruler of this entire universe. Don't you know you cannot speak to him like that? And she says, you forget who I am. You speak out of turn. Between the Divine Father and the Mother never come between us. You who are acting like a demonic Danav individual, go, I curse you, go upon the earth. And one day you will become the Shankachor. Later to become the what we call Sank or Shank, the seashell, what you see Lord Vishnu always have in his hand. Krishna blows that Sank in the Gita. That was the bones of Sudama in a different Janam. Sudama turns to her and he says, I accept your shrap. I take it, but you are burning with rage. You are burning. You are livid with anger at my Lord. I put a shrap on you that we will all go on earth. And that rage, that fire will consume you for 100 years. And you will have to live separate from him. And you will not be able to get married, to have him, to hold him, but it will burn you for this moment that you have done this. So said, devotees, so said, so done. Because of the shrap of Sudama, she is born in Vraj, Vrindavan, and tears flow from her now in that fig patch. It says here, when the mother and the father walk upon her, her lips are dried, her body is famished because she's not eating. She's filled with tears. She has been crying since Krishna left for Mathura to fight Kans. But she has heard that he has gotten married to Rukmani. And in her dream, she's only seeing him in her eyes, in her mind. Mentally, she's seeing him dancing in the Ras Leela in Golok. But in physical existence, the Devi is burning like fever upon her body. Yashoda and Nand witness this and they speak to her like a daughter. Dear one, what is happening to you? All the gopis are here caring for you, but why are you in this condition? Radha, not knowing, it says here, not knowing. Lord Vishnu says she doesn't know if she's awake, if she's asleep. Radhika says, who are you? I am not aware if I am awake or I am sleeping. I cannot tell the difference between human or animal right now. I am unable to differentiate the earth or the water, day or night, because I am lost in the different realms. I am traveling and I am seeing my Lord. Yashoda, being the mother, sits next to her and she says, calm down, my dear. Let's hear what she says in this slok. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Chintanam Kuru Radhe Tvam Atmanam Rakshak Chalta Dhakshya Se Prananatam Cha Sangpratnas Mangala Mangalam. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu, Shakti Rupena Samstita, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Yashoda says to Radha, be conscious. Wake up, my dear. Oh, beautiful one. Save yourself. Make some effort to wake up. We are waking. We are here next to you, oh goddess. We were sent here by the one you worship. Dear goddess, he told us that no matter what type of person, what type of sage, read, knowledgeable or not of Ved, that by what you could teach us, any person can be uplifted. O form of intelligence, O this bursa of knowledge. I am Yashoda, this is Nand. You are the daughter of Vrishabhana. That is her biological father. You'll hear more about that. Pay attention tonight if you've never heard the story of Radha. This is part of our discourse tonight. O noble practicer of all vrat, listen to my words. O beautiful one, we have come from Dwarka, where Krishna is, and he directed us to you. He says that you have the knowledge of Gadadhara, that form of a name of Lord Vishnu where he has the mace. You have the knowledge, and in it you can save us. O goddess, regain your senses. O goddess, know what we have come for. And listening to the mother's words, hearing the name Krishna and Kanha, it evokes some normalcy in this young girl. You bestow the knowledge of devotion to me now. Give us this Gyan that me and my husband have come based on his advice. Oh beautiful faced one, Sri Hari Vishnu has come upon the earth to remove the darkness, and you have come here because of the curse of Sudama. I have learned all these things from him, but now I come to you. Yashodan vachanam shrunuvartam prathya garabritaha Shri Krishna namaskaram dhuri bhutam mangalam madhya yetaha ya devi sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. When a mother, O Radha, what does a mother want? My son is giving me what a mother truly desires. Seeing her children achieve great things, the mother wants help. She wants blessings. She wants guidance. And my son has guided me to you, O remover of my misery. I come to you now. Regain your consciousness. Catch yourself. Remember what we talked about in the beginning. Just a pause before we go into the next chapter, 111. There are people being wooed to shop for mom, shop for Mother's Day. And sometimes mommy does need things. I'm not saying no. That is one way of showing gratitude and love for mom. So do it if you must. It is a nice way to teach children. School teachers, I don't know if they still do it. I know in my time, we would sit down and color with pencils and crayons. Mommy love you, you could barely write. But that card had more value to my mother than the best hallmark that you could purchase. In this instance, as Hindus, help, guidance. Do you have patience with your mother? Do you take the time to take them to the doctor even when they don't want to go? Not everybody has a mother who is a bed of roses. Not everybody has a mother who is healthy, who has their memory. Let's say somebody has Alzheimer's or dementia, or somebody has to wear a pampers. Let's talk about, those types of mother days. So maybe for Mother's Day, I bought mommy adult pampers. There's a need. Suppose I bought mommy her favorite food. All well. Her medicine. All well. Did you have patience? Tonight, I want you to be honest. Did you make time? There are many people that love to bury and pray. I got the best gift. I got a bracelet from my mother. But when they need you the most, you are nowhere to be seen. In today's world where we can make a video call, there are different ways we could maintain that contact. And all are fine. But what you do is you fill the heart of the lady. Think to yourself, leave me a comment. Do you help? Do you have patience? Do you guide? Are you the type of child? Are you the type of Hindu? Ma, you see Sunday is Mother's Day. Ma, your birthday coming, your whatsoever coming. Girl, let me get away. You are no longer the cook, I am the cook. I who arrange the pundit. I who arrange the how and stuff, girl. Your days, those days when we were children, we depended on you. Now you depend on me, and I am going to lead. There are many people, correct me if I'm wrong, we should have done the Gaudan. We should have done the satsang. They're busy calling pundit. All my pundit brothers will attest to this. They're busy calling pundit. When Ma dies, 14 days pundit, we wanted to come, and you have to come and sit and put on the kurta mommy like and read the satsang and the twang and the tune and the song. In mommy absent, do the best satsang. But when mommy was alive, not a CD or a soundtrack could play in that house. God related. Mother's Day. As Hindus, she says, this, when a child is grown, and she's talking from good experience. Remember, Yashoda is the one that puts the peacock feather on Krishna's head. We've spoken about that. Of all our devatas and devis, nobody has this peacock feather. Nobody is associated with this form the way Krishna is. Sri Ram is same Vishnu. Vishnu Bhagwan is not associated with this. Yashoda is the one who gives him this to repel, coming from the discourse in Valmiki Ramayana, to repel negative. That mother went through hell. Kalia, Potna, man, woman, animal, everybody want to kill this child that she was blessed to hold. Everybody wants to damn this child. Everybody wants to take this child. Everybody's coming at her. And she lives her life always on the edge, always on the edge. She lives a life of test. And she's the one who says, in this Brahma Vaivarta Purana, when a mother sees the children grown, she wants help and she wants guidance. And my son guided me to you. Help me now. We enter We enter into the next chapter as Radha, listening to these words, came out of all the different, see it in your mind when people talk about astral travel, and we see it in movies where people are able to go from one place into a different dimension, into a different look, into a different place, and she sees what cannot happen in this janam, in this existence. She sees at a different time. Hinduism talks about time travel, it talks about dimensional travel, it talks about the different looks. And she's in this moment, so she comes back, she recoils now into her form as she recognizes the mother of Krishna. And what does she do? She honors her. She bows, she touches the foot. She pays homage to her. Let's go in the next verse as Radha is about to speak to Yashoda. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, ज्ञान आत्मश्च परमो ब्रह्मा शिशुये पूजितः, ज्ञानम चानदाधौ तुभ्यं मनमूल प्रतिष्ठमति, जय भोले बाबा तव शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तव शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तव शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तव शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तव शरणम. Ma, as she woke up from that sleep, as it were, for children to understand, Krishna is the form of knowledge. He is adorable, he is adored by Sheshya, Sheshnag, Anant, Brahm, Shiva. Instead of imparting the knowledge himself to you, he has come to me, he has sent you to me. By this I am able to see his feelings for me. She feels considered. She feels as he has remembered her. His mother is so important to him, and he sent his mother to me, and she takes solace in that. Even the Ved, great sage Munis, are unable to judge his deeds, his ideas truly. I belong, like you, to the category of woman. Woman. We are considered to be weak, lesser knowledgeable, less wisdom, deprived of knowledge. Because of that separation, because of that difference, we are looked at as different. But the knowledge that he is referring to could even save you and I. This is what I'm about to narrate to you. Please listen. In Hinduism, sometimes people, there's an argument, obviously, men and women, are we equal? The truth is, let's weigh the facts, and I've spoken about this many times with you. If we look at the life of a man and the life of a woman, I don't think we could be fair and say it's equal. So just to rehash that, when you look at puberty for man and woman, man is normal, macho man. Boys crack, probably the most detrimental thing. He sounds croaky for a couple of days, but the girl has belly pain. She goes through different changes, usually painful. Honeymoon night, macho man again. But the girl, depending on the female, she might have some pain. Different type of experience. Okay, we're both parents one day. Daddy is macho man, he has a child, boy, girl. The entire period of pregnancy, the entire time, he is happy. Yes, we talk about men absorbing some symptoms. We go through that. But biologically, hormonally, the man is usually stable. But the girl, God bless people who have it easy. I agree. But for some people, the vomiting, the back pain, the belly pain, just to name a few, the tearing, the ripping, the stitching, etc., to name others, it is a journey, to put it lightly. But we're both parents, everybody, equally mother and father. Let's get another example here. Menopause, senior age. The old man could still be a macho man. He could still father a child, to be quite honest. But the lady, she has different type of trouble. Till today, they cannot tell you what is menopause, because it isn't concrete this for everybody. Some people have it nice, some people not. Some people, they will swear they're having a heart attack. Some people swell, they mentally, they have different problems, allergies, you name it. And I'm sure there are people watching that could give me lectures. Of course, I will never know what it is. But it is so funny that we banter, we are humans, we know so much, but we still are yet to know. In this example, what is that? What is menopause, for example? How to diagnose it, how to help it. We try different things. A lot of people use herbs. As Hindus, we believe in Ayurvedic medicine, which is real. But when you look at it overall, the girl really has a rough time, in all fairness. So when we celebrate the mother, we also celebrate her journey in this life. That in doing all that she has to deal with in her body, and still the chores, the children, don't forget to smile. It is a lot. Because in comparison to the man, yes, the man works, yes, the man does, but his body is usually stable. I always see, if I get a little cut here, Priya would have to come and bandage maybe to my wrist. In my experience, man cannot bear pain for nothing. Whereas a woman could probably say, that is what you're crying for. If you agree or you disagree, leave me a comment. But in my opinion, and the Hindu opinion is, the reason for that, this is where it gets juicy now. The reason for that, the woman, the soul, how does God know male or female? He puts the soul in the female that has an inca, a smaller amount, more amount of sin, truthfully. And this is the reason, let's say the word karma, this is the reason the man has a more stable, less painful, less hurtful experience in life, whereas the female has the opposite. Equally important to the creative process, but totally different. So Hinduism, sometimes you will hear, like in Bhagavad Gita, he talks about women as a weaker one. He does list women. He does. And somebody did ask me about it. And he makes the same thing here. Well, Radha says it. She says, I am a woman just like you. And this apparent weakness caused by the karma that we are born with is overcome by the knowledge he is referring to. There are different schools of knowledge. There are different types of knowledge. But the knowledge of devotion is the best. Oh, virtuous lady, become fearless because of the gift that your son has given you. There are many ascetic sages, munis, Raj rishis that are never able to get this knowledge, and as a result are robbed of ascending to Golok. But just by listening, you will be able to learn. And by learning, you will be able to gain that blessing. Let's hear what she says to her as she begins. Pahi, 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 Gajanana, Parvati Nanda Gajanana. Ekadanta, ekadanta Gajanana, ekadanta ekadanta gajanana anekadantam gajanana pahi 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 gajanana Parvati Nanda Gajanana Tasyatma Sarvam Parigyana Bhajasvaya Parameshwaram Putra Buddhim Parigyanatam Brahmarupam Nishchayanama Ye nata pahi pahi. Everybody. Pahi pahi. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. So in order to benefit, forget everything. Recite the name of the Lord. In this one verse, she gives her everything. Forget the feeling that he is your son. Take him to be the eternal Brahman, the eternal force. We sometimes think this is God. We sometimes think Vishnu, Shiva, everything is God. She is saying rise above that. Go beyond that. In this case, she's saying the sun. But for you and I, we get attached to the murti, to the flag, to the prasad. We get attached to the clothes, the scent of the puja when the gogol burning. You know what I'm talking about? That is puja. That is worship. Go beyond that and see God. Maybe as the dear light might be a better example. The Brahman or the energy that sit within everybody and make it work, act, behave. That is the true form. That is the true nature. And when you forget everything else and you stop getting distracted by his many features, then you know the truth. O Yashoda, discard all the perishable articles. Get ready. And whilst you sit in Vrindavan, after our conversation, take bath in the holy Yamuna 3 times a day. Draw a 8-petal lotus flower on the ground. And using the name of God, prepare yourself to achieve what you are asking me for. You would be able to uproot your jiva, your soul, your energy from all the deeds, the good and the bad. Freeing yourself from that reaction, karmic reaction, that karmic cycle. By thinking of his name. That devotee that is able to do that is being freed from a cage, like a bird when the door is open. Leaving behind all the good and all the bad. But a person who is devoid of devotion like this not only destroys himself, but simultaneously creates a web of entrapment. It's not only you give up or lose the opportunity. In Gita, he says, you are your own friend and you are your own enemy. You would free yourself by your own deeds. And the opposite could happen. Because you only pray a particular way. You only want a particular thing. There are people who only pray for money. There are people who only pray for things. There are people who only go to God when they want physical, tangible things. She's saying forget all of that and learn to go to him with devotion to become free like the bird leaving the cage. By keeping the company of devoted people, by reciting, listening to the stories of Sri Hari Vishnu, The tree of devotion starts to grow like a seed, sprouting inside of you, listening to discourses about him, looking on at his worship, darshanam again, shravanam, listening, remembering, smaranam, by conversing in this way. People who know less than you, you come like a light, a brightness. You bring the devotion to them and you help them and you sprout. You water the plant. Sometimes it dry. The devotion inside the person, you pretend is like a tree. And the person probably ain't know much. The person probably ain't know how to do it. They have a problem and they don't know what to do. So you guide this person, Yashoda, and you water that tree of devotion from inside their heart. And in doing it, by spreading his seva, his service, reciting his name, your tree starts to grow bigger and brighter. But by keeping the company of people who doubt, people who don't believe, this only leads to panic, because I don't know what's going to happen next. Think about that. Devi is guiding, but me and you need to think. Without faith, without thinking, Hanuman Baba will protect me. Again, ready to go on the plane. God, are going in to do this medical procedure. Ganesh Baba, remove the obstacles. Dear God, I depend on you. God, I'm sending them to school. Go with them. Starting a new job today. God, bless me. Without that confidence in that greater, the person is left very anxious, because there is nothing to believe in and there is no recognition of this greater force. You must adore your son, O Yashoda, but adore him in his true nature. Adore him by using his name. Use his name, these 8 names every day, and a person will become freed from countless births, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, and you will become free, Yashoda. Let's hear, what are these names? Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Krishna Keshava Kamsari Hari Vaikunta Vaman Itaka Ekadash Naminam Patadvaj Pataye Ditiyam Janmakoti Sahasranam Pataka Deva Madhyate. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Yashoda Decha Pralekan Swa Atma Putra Meshwaram Ramayanam Narayan Ananta Mukunda Madhusudan Yeti Ashranam ye yarthi punyam mangalyanam. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Remember tonight, everybody, Radha Devi is telling her the names. Rama, Ram, Narayan, Ananta, Mukunda, Madhusudan, Krishna, Keshava, Kamsari, Hari, Vaikunta, and Vaman. Says, Ma, listen. The person who reads these names, the person who thinks about the name, the katha associated with the name, the sins of many births burns away. Ra stands for the globe. Ma stands for the Lord. So when a person chants Ram, they're chanting that this is the Lord of the world. He enjoys the company of that same Ram when he calls the name Ram. Ram happens to be the cause, another meaning, the source of knowledge of Ram Tattva, the place where Ram is kept, the person who studies the workings, the teachings, the knowledge of Ram. That person goes to that place where Ram is. Another way, Ra stands for Lakshmi, Ma stands for the Lord of. So Rama or Rama means the Lord of Lakshmi. The merit one earns by reciting thousands of the divine names is equivalent by chanting that name of Ram just once by the lips of Radha Devi. The intellectuals believe Nara, the second name, stands for Swarupa or salvation. Narayan, therefore the one who happens to be the God of the same salvation, Narayan. Another way, the sins which are committed by someone, this is called Nara, and Ayan means to disappear. So Narayan is the name or that form, that God that could bless a person to rid them of their sins, their past actions. This is achieved by the recitation of the Narayan name. Om Namo Narayanaya, the 8-syllable mantra that is given in Garupran, Prit Manjali, that if a person chants that name, great amount of sin is burnt away as the life is leaving the body. With the recitation of the name Narayan once, a person achieves the merit of having taken bath in all the sacred waters for Janam after Janam. According to another interpretation, Yashoda Ma, Nara means merit or moksha. Ayana stands for the appropriate knowledge. Therefore, the Narayan enshrined is the knowledge that gives the moksha, the liberation. He has the ability, he disposes, he grants, he gives that knowledge that gives that upward movement. The one who is beyond description in the 4 Veds, the Puranas, the scriptures, all forms of literature. He is beyond all that. He is called Ananta by all intellectual. He is beyond description. Many scriptures say that not all the words that Saraswati could use could describe him. This is referring to that as well. Mukunda, Muku means the studies, salvation. Mukunda means the one who grants the salvation as a result of hard work. Another way Muku stands for love, devotion, as prescribed by the Ved. And the Kunda means the one who dispenses, gives to the devotee this love, this ability to have and harbor that in their mental capacity to make the time to light the diya, to make the time to sing the bhajan, to make the conscious decision that I want to do something of a beneficial nature for, Mother's Day is coming. I want to do something, you know what, this could be my gift for her. Instead of gold or a card, something that has spiritual value, I want to benefit her in that way. Another name, the Madhusudan, this is because it originated where he destroys the demon Madhu. Ma, Sudan means destroyer of Madhu. Madhusudan. But Ma, there are different meaning to that word. And I'm taking my time with this part. Madhu means the one that is neutral gender. You know, sometimes we have the people that have different sexual orientation and we ridicule people. sexuality, likes, dislikes, how they identify themselves in today's world. But Hinduism did not ridicule these people. And the madhu is described as the person with neutral gender. People who have good experience, bad experience. And another way is to look at it as wine, intoxicants that come from plants or trees. Therefore, the Sudhan is the person who brings about protection from good and bad, who stabilizes a person in their gender category, who looks after the neutral gender category, or people who are born in a physique but maybe hormonally or for whatever reason mentally, spiritually identified differently. Krishna is the person for that. The person who destroys the bad. The person who, Madhusudana, is the one who the person is doing wrong and you are calling for that help. He is the one who saves you. Tonight, let's use another topic to bring in here. You know, in this world, according to the United Nations, abuse is a pattern, not one incident I'm talking, a pattern where a person is trying to gain control over another person. And in some people's lives, especially female, as Radha Devi is about to talk about here, people try to suppress and control women. People try to, in our discourse tonight, I'm focusing on women. Not just one incident, I want to make that clear, but a pattern of abuse. Many people think about physical abuse, physical violence, but it takes on different forms. Krishna is the one that we are supposed to turn to when we have different evils, different demons in our life. And these abusers fall in that category. Abuse could be physical, of course, the kicking, the slapping, the cuffing, the pushing, reckless behavior, threatening behavior. It could be sexual, it could be rape, it could be forced, it could be taken advantage of in different ways, taken advantage of a young child, etc. It could be verbal or emotional. And this one, I want to stress this tonight. This one is harder to spot. This type of emotional abuse. Because we tend to use words like baran, women. Forget men abusing each other, but women abuse women. Yes, she baran, she can't make a child. Yes, she fat. But I have an aunt, everybody knows I have a very nice rosy belly. And I remember my aunt in my younger days, in my single days, you know, this girl, that girl, everybody like the Baba. And my aunt used to say, the fat man's got it, the fat man's got it. And you grow up, to be honest, in my experience as a big person, that many women say, oh, I like a big guy because he makes you feel safe. But a fat girl does not have that. Women will cry them down. Mothers will cry them down. We are brought up to know that Cinderella looks one way. Sleeping Beauty looks one way. Beauty is one way. But when a girl has a blemish, when a girl starts to lose her hair, COVID, so many women are losing their hair, then you're not beautiful. And you start to attack that person's personality, you rob them of that self-confidence. That is abuse. Those types of abuse does not have to be a man like an ex-husband or ex-boyfriend. No. Truthfully, it is embedded from the homes we sometimes come from. Not everybody is exposed to a home where, babe, no matter how you look, put aside for health reasons. Let's talk about the hair or the color of the skin, or the mark sometimes, or little blemish whatsoever. Not everybody's home says beauty is, regardless. God make you, I love you, you're beautiful. Not everybody does that. Mother's Day. But this female has to go through so much. Do you contribute to this emotional scarring? In our society today, we measure beauty by what people wear in magazines and TV, and you emulate that. But the truth is, as a Hindu, after a woman makes a baby, she might have stretch marks on her belly. She might put on weight as hormone and years pass. And we are taught in our dharma that you respect her in all her shapes, size, color, fades, different, if a person has diabetic, insulin resistance, you get darkening in your arm, in your legs, in your neck. Does that mean you love her less? Does it mean you ridicule the individual? For some people, yeah, family members. Yes, see, she get fat. Yes, see, she getting bald head. Yes, see, she gets stretch marks. Don't put on the bathing suit anymore. You're ugly. And it gets so bad that people start to think, I am ugly. As a pundit, I meet, parents with all types of young children. I remember when I was in school, coming up the road till now, young girls for some reason like to cut the wrist. They choose badly in relationships, and then they end up into another cycle of abuse. Psychological abuse, mental abuse, gaslighting. There are many examples of this one. People play games. Let me just use a simple example. Transferring blame. Let me just pretend somebody always calling the girl crazy until one day she really thinks or builds a pity that she's always forgetful, she's forgetting. The girl is arguing, I don't forget, I didn't say that, I didn't say those things, I didn't do those things. But the impression, the story is being built, the case is being formulated by telling this one, telling her family, building a case that she is forgetful, she is rude, she is bad, she is whatever. And it takes a toll on the person, because sometimes they start to think they are forgetful, they are crazy. Maybe he is correct. Maybe I rarely forget. And they start to degrade themselves. They start to doubt themselves. Financial abuse? Well, we see this one. The lady has no bearing over the finances of the home. You cannot spend the money of the home, but the law says otherwise. But it is another way of control. Don't have a job. Don't have education. Don't advance yourself, because then you'll get bright. Now, I'll agree, there are some people that, their likes change after education comes in their life, but that's your right. That is fine. You don't abuse somebody, suppress somebody to control them. That's wrong. And the last one, culture and identity. People rob people of practicing their religion. And then you see this in some marriages. As a means to control, you're praying to Jambi. You can't light your diya. You can't say a prayer. You have to eat beef in this house. Or in some cases, you have to eat pork in this house. Or you cannot be vegetarian in this house. I will not permit you to be non-alcoholic in this house. A different way of squeezing the person's character or their identity. Another way you could threaten somebody, I know secretly you are bisexual, and I'm going to tell the pastor, I'm going to tell the pundit, I'll tell everybody your secret. I will tell everybody you were once gay, or you were gay, or you are this or that, whatever. In all the different categories it have, you threaten somebody. I'm going to out you, I'm going to broadcast it on Facebook, I'm going to tell everybody all your dirty deeds and all the skeletons in your closet. A different way of threatening the individual. these forms of abuse, all are wrong. Madhusudana is the expressed form, Yashoda, that when demons come into your life, when the bitterness come into your life, and yes, arguably, what does everybody say? Well, you're going through this maybe because your karma, you know, the pundit go check your patra and you go say in your birth chart, your mangalik, or whatever they find. But even in those moments, when the reward of your karma is evil existence, when you are under all forms of pain, when you are going through the hardships of this life, Madhusudana is the one we go to, because he is the one that will destroy that pain. Where you are in your parabdha karma going to see trouble, even then mercy could come. Even then. We're celebrating Mother's Day. But please remember, that lady, we have to improve. And there's another verse here, he says, when he's called, we'll come to it. When you make the mistake, how to improve yourself. He says, Ma, she says, Ma. Then he's called Krish, which stands for excellence. And Na stands for the noble devotion. The stands for the container. The excellent devotion. He is that form that when a person worships him, great amount of merit come from it. This is why people call him Krishna. That Krishna, given in Garud Puran, that name alone burns away 10,000 janam worth of sin of all the forms of Mahavishnu. This is why the emphasis is on him. Chant his name. Ma. Another way of looking at his name, that same Krishna, it means, the Krish means bliss. And the Na remains to the Das, the slavehood, the servant of that blissful, that existence, who could give his servant the bliss they are looking for. The one who provides for both of them, the knowledge, the happiness, the mukti, as well as the livelihood of being the servant of him, is called Krishna. Another way, Krish stands for the sin earned from all the birth, death, and the Na means the remover of that sin. He burns away all our past deeds, so our present could be a little better, our future even brighter. The results in making the word Krishna, the merit one earns by chanting millions and millions names, thousands of times, the Sahasranam of Lord Vishnu name, chant the name of Krishna and you get the same benefit. There is no name better than Krishna, now, in the past, in the future. In this lok, in all the lok, his name is most praised, highly praised by all texts. People well versed in the knowledge that is contained in the Ved sing the praise of his name. O lady, O cow herdress, you who work the cattle to get milk, to make butter, etc. The one who recites the name Krishna and Krishna, Krishna, again and again, regularly, he is saved from falling into all forms of Patal, Atal, Sutal, all the different lower loks, the different realms of hell. And in the same way, as the lotus emerges out of the water, with that name on your tongue, the person is able to rise above, coming out of the ash from all the pain and the sinful history, all the mistakes you and I make. He allows you to come out like a shining beacon above that history. Reciting the name Krishna is better than performing thousands of Ashwamedha Yagna. And it gives the ability for a person to be reborn. For this reason, when people are tying the janev, somebody asked me if a pandit have to wear his janev. I couldn't believe the question. But the janev for everybody is the string, the little string that the Baba does wear when they reach to this point. They do a sanskar to be relieved of the sin from their karma, past karmas. Hence they are called twice born. And it enters the person into the Vedic study of mantras, etc., etc. the first thing is, yes, you wear it. You keep it on for the rest of your life. So that is to answer that question. And I hope all the young Babas are wearing the Janeu, saying their Gayatri, etc. Reciting the name frees a person, like in the example with the Yagyopavit Sanskar. It burns away sin. It frees the person from the cycle of birth and death. All the Yagya, all the Vrat, all the different Tirat, Yatra, all the different Bhat, all the different recitations of Stotra, Ved, etc. You could go around the globe hundreds of times doing these things, and you would not be able to get 1/16th the merit that you get when you chant the name of Krishna. With the greed of performing good deeds, listen to that again, with a desire, an earnest desire, with the greed to perform good deeds, a person should enjoy the opportunity to chant his name. And when they do so, they remain in the upper lok, in the heavenly region, never to fall. But the one who knows his name in the course of this life, chanting Krishna, that name, ascends to the eternal abode of Krishna, Golok, Vaikunt, never to come again. The name Ka comes from water. The one who pervades over the water, the one who has beautiful hair, the one who is in charge of all the different creatures, Keshav. In text it looks like Keshava, but the true name is Keshav. Another one comes, is used for obstruction. Again, mistakes, bad deeds, ailments such as greed, lust, etc. The abuser we are talking about now, in the example with the different abuse that people inflict on women. The one who does not see the wrong comes. And Sari is the one who forgives people who makes these demonic mistakes. In all our texts, there's always the good guy and there's the bad guy. But the bad guy, truthfully, is usually accepted by God. He's usually uplifted by God. In Mahabharata, when Yudhishthira finally reaches to the heavenly realm, he says, I see Duryodhana sitting on a throne, I see Karna, I see all of them sitting happily, merrily being cared for as kings in the heavenly region. Where's my brothers? They are in the same Brahma Vaivarta Purana, in subsequent chapter, there is a person by the name of Shrighal or Shrighala, a person that imitates Krishna, and he bad talks Krishna, and they end up getting ready to fight, and he says, why did you ill speak me? He said, I wanted you to reach for me. He says, I know who you are, and I'm waiting for you, and I want you to give me mukti. Same person was bad talking him and speaking him ill for everything he did. He says, so why did you ill speak me if you are a devotee of me? He says, only then you would have reached here. You came here to remove the scourge upon the earth, so I know I had to be bad in order for you to take care of me. So, Kamsari is the person who forgives, the person who wants forgiveness. Regardless to what they've done, regardless to what mistake we make, when a person makes the step to him, Krishna makes a step to that devotee. It is a form of Rudra, in fact. And when a person is making that change to come to him, he makes the necessary changes to accept. The Leela has to swing in such a way that the person is able to get upliftment. Mool Prakriti, in that name Hari, Devi in all her forms, Ishwari, Narayani, Santani, Vishnu, Maya, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati, Radha, Vasundhara, Ganga, to name a few. He is the Lord of them. He is known as Madhav, the one who is adored by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Shesha, all the different sages, Sanak and others. The one who knows the secret of deep meditation, dhyana, Madhav. By following these names, O Yashoda, you would be able to know the soul of this universe. You should adore that soul, that entity, because of who he really is. Do not be distracted by the fact that he is the one who stole the butter in your house. Where is the milk, the butter, the dahi, the ghee? Where is all this milk being prepared? Where is the thief of these articles? Where is your link to the base? He is the holder of this universe. And one should not try to be trapped in his trap, but should see him for who he is, who he really is. Dear Yashoda, when listening to this, let's do this one verse here before we close. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Sarvam dhasyami jagati devanyapi darshanam. Harihocha nirshola bhaktya stana vejanti mamma. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. He says, O Mother Yashoda, he is the one who captures the yogis, the siddhas, the ascetics, the devotee, Brahma, Shiva, Shesha, all of them. He ties them up. You think he could be bound to mortar and pestle? Adore your son, but adore who he really is. With devotion, meditation, recitation, making efforts to see who he really is, O Mother. Today, by listening to this discourse, my dear Ma, ask for a boon. Ask for what you desire, which is beyond the reach of all the devatas. Ask for it now, and I will bestow it upon you. Haraucha nischala bhakti stalastanam vijantyacha tvanamascha vyoyapitah kaya tudvyamasi. Narayanaya Krishnaya. Yashoda says, O Radha, I desire to achieve that infallible devotion at the feet of Sri Hari Vishnu. I desire to become his dasi. You have enlightened me at the root of his devotion, the root of his truth, the root of his name. Grant this to me now. Radhika Devi says, I bless you so that you will achieve the highest form of devotion. When me and you think we know, brothers and sisters, today, what do we really know? That video I did in the cherry blossom, Where do you see God? Do you only see God in the Murti? Do you only see God in the temple? And when you come home, you cannot see the mother as a God, your wife as a God, your children, the innocence, the dumb and stupid question they sometimes come with. Are you only irritated? Or are you bothered when your mother is saying, what you do today, boy? I recently came back from my aunt's. And my aunt Savit is somebody, everybody grows into their devotion. But she wants me, you offer your dar, you say your prayers. No matter where I reach in this life, I'm a little boy in front of two of them. My father has two sisters remaining. And this one will give it to me. Pandit, you forget to do that. You forget to do that. You forget to do that. When you are in my position, you'll get vexed every time. But then happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Because of this darshan, O Yashoda, the decision for you to ascend to Golok is already made. In earlier times, Nand had found me in the Bidhara forest. That's a discourse I'll read for you one day. And in that discourse, she tells Nand a story of how she came. And she says, I'm going to tell you the same now. She told him then, and she says, listen, I am Radha. I am a reflection of that Sri Hari Vishnu, the Ayana from Narayana. I am Rayana. I am a piece of him. The Ra in the Radha stands for the hair under the arm, the armpit. The Ra stands for that hair. And at the end of each hair, there's a globe, a ball, a earth, a planet. The Da in Radha stands for the motherhood, the mother amongst the creatures. I am the form that looks after planet in all his creation, in all his works. But the motherhood comes from me. I am the Mool Prakriti. I am the Ishwari if he is Ishwar. I am Ishwari. I am the mother of all. This is the reason why Sri Hari Vishnu gave me the name Radha. At the moment when I was created from the body of Krishna, I was given this name because of my position. Here I have become, in this Vrindavan, I have come as the daughter of Vrishabhana because of the curse of Sudama. And I have to be separated from that Vishnu for 100 years. But Vrishabhana happened to be the best of the servants of Krishna. And my mother, whose name is Kalavati, is a mind-born. Radha was mind-born. She was not procreated in the world via the gestational tract. She appeared. And Kalavati, which is dealt with in different discourse, she was also created in such a way. In this land, both myself and my mother are born without human contact, no sexual contact. And I remain here together with you in this abode of Vrindavan. O Queen of Vraj, I remain here as per his desires, per his wish, and I wait for that day when I will return to Golok to be together with him. Mama modan cha bhavati dhyanas vyava dhyanika ye dhama bhanga Madhosho Narayanapati Sundariye Shri Brahmayate Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah. So currently you are obstructing my meditation. Radha is telling Yashoda, you're bothering me. I have given to you the discourse that he wanted me to give you. You have gained the blessing by listening to it. But now you are blocking me from spending that mental time with him. And oh, my dear lady, oh dear queen, a person gains sin by disturbing the prayer and meditation of another individual. So in other words, leave this, please. She is so in love with that Krishna that she cannot stand to be away from him. And when people speak of the Radha society, the Radha movement, this is what they worship, her devotion. Tonight we've listened to this discourse. I hope you've learned something. I hope today we've talked about many things, the names of Krishna, the history, an incident with Lord Krishna being a son to his mother. We've spoken about Madhusudana overcoming the trials and the tribulations many women, many mothers in society undergo. And it is not that we overlook it, but we have to address it. In this world, in Trinidad in particular, domestic violence and the amount of death and harm that come to our daughters cannot go silent. We're at a point where every time they dig the earth in a repo, where Hindus used to go to do puja, they're finding bodies. And that's normal. People are being robbed and kidnapped. Look at the US advisory when it talks about coming to Trinidad. There's an ill in this land. There's war and different types of harm in different parts of the world. But if you really celebrate the mother, then we also have to make sure she's comfortable. We have to look at Kamsari. We could address the monster inside of us. Kans, that monster that lives within each and every, because we have all made mistakes. But the key is to break the pattern of abuse. See it, boys, see it and stop it. Stop it. Don't let it propagate. Don't let it continue. Teach your sons how to be better. Be a better example. And then talk about celebrating Mother's Day. Remember what you're celebrating, the history. As Hindus, every day is Mother's Day. Every time we pray, there's a lady involved. If just lighting the diya, considering that divinity, that light to be Lakshmi, the energy throughout this world, as she says, I am the Radha, I am the mother of the entire system. Radha. Jai Jai Radha. Ramana. You know every bhajan? Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Radhava Madhava Radhe Sham. Now we understand why we sing Radha. Remember that. I hope you enjoyed your little discourse tonight. And I hope that if you are an abuser, we could start to stop. If you are constantly being forced to be afraid, you have a formal reaction as women and an informal. The formal, police, lawyer, protection order, restraining order, those things exist. Informal, make time for family, make time for friends, talk it out. Coping mechanisms, people pretend they're normal. Everything good, he perfect, he stopped, he changed. And inside, as you try to fight to show normalcy, and we all do that, you're crumbling. If you're a man and you are threatening, I'm watching on the phone and I can see where the car is, why aren't you home? Not for safety, but to frighten the person. I am watching your Apple iPhone and I can see where you are. I'm tracking your movements. If the woman did that to the man, it wouldn't be a nice thing. It wouldn't be allowed. It's bad. She's wrong for doing it, but apparently it's right when men do it. Recently, somebody took a flight. They reached where they was going. And the husband is on the phone because he was checking it on the status of the flight. Regardless to the delay, whatever is beyond the control of the woman. I see a plane land. But you didn't check in, but I know you land. I know you reach. And this monster type behavior, using surveillance to instill fear. This type of abuse has to stop. If you celebrate Mother's Day this Sunday, celebrate by giving the gift of change. No longer be cunts, but be the Krsna. Be the type of person that brings this type of language to a mother, this type of language to the woman, this type of language to your home. Be the example. Don't be cunts, be Krsna. Remember what you're praying. Remember tonight, if you never heard it, remember what these words, Ram, Krishna, Radha, what they mean, the names you give our children. Remember what it means and live by that example. Live by that example. Krishna, and I said it in the beginning, I'm saying it now. Everybody makes mistakes. We are all sinful. Pundit especially. I especially am in front. If we were perfect, if we were angelic, in the ashram with all the classes, Guruji is there, Pandit Raj is there, and he always makes this point when we're talking. He says, Kesh, if we were angelic, we would have been with God. If we were saved, we would have been with God. We would not be here suffering. So regardless of what we wear, we are all sinful. We all in this together. And we all could improve. If we made mistakes, if you are making that mistakes tonight, please, by virtue of your discourse, by virtue of your God and your faith in your God, please believe in where you're praying and change your life. If you need help, reach out and do something about it. Don't forget yourself, There are many women say, you know what, I'll stick in this true and true. I wouldn't do anything. One day he got, the excuse. You all know the story. What about your girl children? What is the example you're teaching to your children? That type of behavior is what you want in life? That is acceptable? Another the slant we could take on this on the madhu sudan. The madhu is another word for alcohol, rum, etc. I don't know if you ever heard this, but somebody told me once, well, Pandit, my father used to drink so much of rum and roll in the drain. So I go in and roll in the drain too. Madhusudana, there is prayer. You see, if you are there and you have children or family members who are addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, please do not walk away from this satsang here tonight and don't think your God could champion those problems, Whether it's fentanyl, is different class, different types, punching, you name it. God created everything. So regardless to the problem, tonight's discourse and others always prove that when you have faith in Him, He takes the form of the solution. Madhusudan also talks about overcoming addiction. There are prayer, there is yantra, mantra, there are things you drink, things you chant, things you offer in Havan. It's just maybe you don't know about it. But just like you go to a doctor and me and you only know about Tylenol and Advil. Let me be fair. Doc, I had this problem, I had that problem, I had the other problem. And that, God bless that doctor, that he could say, try the blue tablet, try the red tablet for your toe, try the yellow tablet for your head. And we take that tablet with faith, boy. Think about what I say there. You go to the doctor and you get the medicine and the doctor said, take 2 and call me in the morning. You don't doubt this tablet going to work. You know what you do? Doctor so-and-so give me it, it's going to work, that is it, I get the medicine, I am going to feel better, 2 days from now I'll be back at work. You follow the prescription with faith and give it a chance. It will work. If it doesn't work, we get a different one and it will work. God is love. 10 to 1, it works. But with prayers, I wonder if this puja could work, boy. This Hanuman, I don't know. He could lift a mountain. I don't know if he could lift cancer. I don't know if he could handle this child and the fentanyl. I don't know. Oxycodone can't sit down in this house. They're selling it in the school. Oh, I don't know. The sugar, they're sick, they're diabetic, but they're hiding and eating chocolate. The same mother and them sometimes. All you know who all is, eh? You can't eat the people thing, but you're fighting and hiding and you're eating it, and then you're going to end up in trouble. God could help my mother, boy. God could help that diabetes. Then, do you really believe in God? That's my question. That's just a question. If you want to send my message, send my message. If you're watching me on YouTube, please share the satsang. Still leave my message. I need subscribers for my YouTube channel. Soon we're going to be going live on TikTok. We're going to go live on YouTube. I need subscribers to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe today. Share this information with your loved ones. I look forward to tomorrow night and Sunday night. We're going to have fun with our discourse and you're going to learn some stuff along the way. I don't know what to read for you tomorrow night. Please send me a message. Give me an idea. What would you like to hear? If you're in the WhatsApp group or if you'd like to join, I'll put the link up later. Join so that we could be in contact one-on-one. Send me a message what to read. Everybody, from here at the ashram, from Prayer Mata and myself, I hope you enjoyed tonight's discourse. We did a different type where Radha is on display and she's teaching Yashoda Mata. The mother now is at a different age. Krishna is married. Rukmini just came in, to put it in timeline perspective. They left Dwarka. And we're still learning about mother and motherhood. Motherhood is represented by Radha. In conclusion tonight, please know, as Hindus, Mother's Day is every day. And a mother doesn't necessarily need gold and diamond. We are not following the Greeks and the English and the American. She doesn't need chocolate. Sometimes she truthfully needs the vegetable. She needs something to eat. She needs a cane. She needs pampers. She needs patience. She needs your presence. She needs a phone call if you're not living around her. For a girl who may be married and living in a different part of the world, maybe your mother is no longer alive like me. Maybe Mother's Day could be a prayer on her behalf. Not prayer to she, but pray, dear God, wherever my mother's soul is, bless her, please. How will you spend your Mother's Day, Hindu? Send me a message. Let me know. Don't be ashamed. This is your God. This is your mother. You know, as Hindus, we do contrary things. Last one and I'm going. Something to think about. If I said, out this deer, which by itself is strange, but out the deer, blow it out. Big blow. Say, Pandit, you're mad. You see that Pandit nowadays? Pandit, they know what they're doing. They're blowing out deer. They're crazy. But bring the same fire, the same light on a cake, but the Hindu will blow out the candle. I don't know. But we're following other people. Do you know why we just blow out the candle on the cake? Another satsang. But we take other people's culture. Just bear this with me. We take other people's culture and we emulate. It comes from America. We start to manufacture. That's our tradition. We don't know why. Sometimes I do agree with Hinduism in this example with the blowing of the light. But we do it. It's time some of these things stop. And culture changes when you have the knowledge. And that is why I went into that little history about Mother's Day and where it came from. The final decision is yours. What you believe in is yours. God gave you the brain to think. And what you accept as your understanding, maybe God has you here, maybe God has some people here, God has other people. In terms of their ability and the capacity to understand him in different likes and walks. And we accept that. Gita does say, you don't damage, harm, insult people when they are not at your spiritual level or they don't understand things at your level. You don't break them down, but you build them up. From that perspective, I've said what I've said. Tonight, whatever I've said about the abuse, I mean that from my heart. And I classify my own self as a son that sometimes would lose patience with a mother when she was alive and she was not the healthiest person and she would still break every law given by the doctor. I had those days. In my younger days, I wish I could have done better in retrospect. As a husband, I wish I could do better. You know what? Stop wishing upon it and do it. Same go for all of we. And then we really celebrating the Radha in that lady in your life. Don't only do it in the Murti, but do it in the lady in your life. Prem Svolavandravan Bihari Ki Jai. I hope you really enjoyed this satsang. Please send me a message. Everybody, please draw your hands as time has run away. I'm sorry for going over the time. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem Svalomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Pavanasuta Hanuman ki Jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Jai Jai. Siddharam. Siddharam everybody. And a good night to you all. See you tomorrow. Same time. Same place. On Facebook. Be viewing YouTube. And send me a message tonight in the group, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you are. What to read tomorrow night. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. Sitaram.